Imagine you love something, like a band, and you found friends online, a group of people that welcomes you in their community, and you have found your people who like the same things you like. And you talk about this band all the time. You have WhatsApp groups and you hype each other up whenever you see news about your favorite band and the band announces a new album one day. And the day comes when the album drops and you listen to all the songs, talk to your friends about it. And you mentioned that of all the 20 songs they released, you like about 19. And one song on the album is not your kind of thing. And it's fine for you because you have 19 new songs you like, and one song is just not your cup of tea. And then people come at you. They curse you, they throw you out of the group, telling you are not a real fan because how dare you hate one of the songs, you are a fan, you are not supposed to be a hater because you dislike one song. This is a made up scenario, but I know situations like these, and it's a several other fandoms, and I know it from personal experience in the anime community, and people are furious once you start criticizing something, even though you are a very big fan of it, because how dare you criticize something you love? And I personally think that criticizing something you love is very important, because if you criticize something, you always want it to become better. And this means you actually care for the franchise or whatever. And if you are with me on this, I kindly invite you to watch my videos because I want to criticize the things I usually praise. And maybe you think, okay, what does this have to do with Demon Slayer? Demon Slayer is just my first victim at this point. And this has no specific reason because I do like Demon Slayer. But the main reason why I chose this as my very first topic is because this is the first anime that came to my mind when I thought about criticizing things I love. So let's start with Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer has a very straightforward storyline, and it starts with the most basic plot for the main character to start his journey or revenge story. And this first episode works well because everyone can imagine how horrible it must be to lose your whole family, especially if it was a massacre like this. But we are not really sad because we lost characters we loved, we are just sad because it is sad to lose your family. And most people can imagine what kind of horrible scenario this must be if you lose your family like this. And this is a clever way to get the audience feel bad for the main character, even though we don't have a connection to him yet. And this is also a good way to start an anime. But that it continues very dry. The first season of Demon Slayer was not good because it started so slow. We had this massacre, which was a very good first episode to get people attached in some kind of way. And from this moment on, it's very low because we only have Tanjiro with his little sister who doesn't talk, and he meets one of the Hashira, Tomioka. And we get a little bit of insight in the demons, and there's an organization who tries to get rid of all the demons and stuff. We get a little bit of introduction to the world. And it needs so much time to actually meet the sidekicks. And the first we meet is Zenitsu. And this is not a bad character. I don't want to say that he's actually one of the characters who has a little bit of character improvement. But he is so annoying at the beginning. Compared to Tanjiro, Zenitsu is a character who has personality. Like, I don't want to shit talk Tanjiro because Tanjiro is a kind, pure human and absolutely perfect, but he doesn't have much character. And Zenitsu does have character. He is very loud, he's a coward to no end, and even if this changes at some point, we all know it does. I mean, I say this way too late, but this video is not free of spoilers. If you didn't watch the full anime yet, I will spoil you. And I might even spoil a little bit of the manga, so sorry for saying this way too late, but yeah, I will spoil you. So Zenitsu will change at some point. Then he is not that annoying anymore, but he will go back to his usual character traits. And this is annoying. And he has this typical, not only the loud and coward thing, he also has the pervert side. I mean, this is all the bad stuff in one character. And I had a friend who loved Zenitsu for this moment where he protected Nezuko from Inosuke. And he's the best character because he sees behind the mask of the demon and sees the human in her and wants to protect her. And yes, it was a good moment. Don't get me wrong, I like this too, that Zenitsu tried to protect Nezuko. But honestly, if you are a decent human being and you actually listen what other people tell you, like Tanjiro told him, this is his little sister and he doesn't want her to get hurt, and you have empathy, you will try to protect her from getting killed, because Inosuke would have killed her. And maybe that's just me, but I think this is not like an outstanding character trait. But anyways, this is not a character I hate. I would say I got used to him. And he's like there and it's fine. Inosuke, on the other hand, is a character who does many things right. We do have a little backstory of him. We know where his war mask is coming from. You know why he's living in the mountains and what happened to him as a baby. And it's enough to explain why he is the way he is. And this is all we need. Because actually, Inosuke is not a very complex character, but he is very entertaining. And this is why he is one of the most beloved characters in the Demon Slayer universe, because he is very entertaining. He is stupid and he is weird, and connected with his absolute social awkwardness, it's just charming. It's entertaining and charming. And this is why he is, in my opinion, the best character of the trio. And if you want to include Nezuko, he's still the best. Because Nezuko has like zero personality, just like her brother. And I also don't want to hate on Nezuko. The problem is, she is treated like a cute cat. Nezuko has 3 forms, and my personal guess is the mangaka wanted to make Nezuko interesting for every kind of watcher. So we have people who love cute characters, and that's why people like the cute small Nezuko. And we have the kind, caring sister, the teenage Nezuko we saw in the flashbacks. And then on the other side, we have the demon Nezuko, who's badass and does the evil stuff for all the other people who don't like the overly cute and kind characters who have no flaws. And this is all about Nezuko's character, actually. I mean, we sometimes see her interact with other characters like Mitsui, and she even seems to enjoy Inosuke being silly. And it's good that we see these moments because it shows us what kind of people Nezuko actually is drawn to, which people she likes. But this is like all of her character. I don't know anything else except of her being Tanjiro's sister. On the other hand, we have the Hashira. And I would like to say that from all the Hashira, Tomioka is the best written character. We met him from the start and he is always there. Not really in the spotlight, but he appears like every other arc. And he has a little role and he has some kind of connection to Tanjiro. In the Mook Trainer arc, we get more of Rengoku, and the mangaka thought that we all care very, very much for this character we met a moment ago. And I personally think if this would have been Tomioka, this would have been a whole different story. But no, it's Rengoku, and I won't talk about Rengoku now because I have personal beef with Rengoku and his story. And if I say I make videos to criticize stuff I love, I can't talk about Rengoku because I don't love Rengoku. I would just be a hater, and in this case, it would be true. So let's not talk about Rengoku. We have other Hashira, and they are there. Tengen was kind of interesting. He had moments. He had a tragic backstory, like a story that explained the way he is. And this is enough. Like, don't get me wrong. It's enough if this flashback covers us. It doesn't have to be more than that. We have arcs where Tanjiro meets other Hashira, and they are all very close all of a sudden and love each other. Like with Mitsuri, I mean, yes, it's her personality that she's very affectionate like this. And of course, she's a serial Tanjiro and also with Nezuko. But for example, Muichiro. He has a very sad, tragic backstory and he's completely broken. He's empty. This boy doesn't smile. This boy doesn't care. This boy probably doesn't even listen. And Tanjiro is so perfect and warm and pure, and he can melt his heart and make him feel safe and warm. Maybe it's not that deep, but in my opinion, this is lazy writing to make the main character more appealing. This is why I like Obernai. Obernai and also Sanemi don't fall for the main character the moment he appears, and I like that. The Hashira are a close group. They all know each other, and most of them really care for each other. I mean, in the end, I would say all of them care for each other. It's not like they are all best friends, but they're a good team. And if you have a main character who gets pushed in this close group and everyone is a big fan of you, it doesn't feel natural because they don't even know him. And that's why the way Sanemi and Obernai treat Tanjiro is more realistic. But this is a flaw Demon Slayer has overall. The characters connect with each other just because they have to. There are not many wholesome moments that show us that they actually are more than just coworkers. You know what I mean? And if they are just coworkers, that's fine. But then it's treated the wrong way because then we only have Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Nezuko, who are a close group, who care for each other. And this is just not enough to make an anime or a story overall to feel warm. Because then we don't have more relationships between other characters. And this is a cold world. By the way, I completely forgot about Shinobu, and I think Shinobu is after Tomioka, the best written Hashira, because she not only has a backstory that explains the way she is, she also has an interesting character trait because she's also a smiley, cute, lovely woman on the outside, but behind the facade, she is scary and intimidating. She reminds me of this very weird character from this even more weird manga, Yarechen Beach Club. There's this guy who's always smiley and everybody loves me, and in the end, he's a bitch. I like these kind of characters because you don't see them often. characters who have this mask on all the time, and Shinobu is very good at doing this. And of course, we also have the bad guys. And I always like when a character is bad because they are bad. Not every villain needs a reason to be a villain if it's well done. For example, Jujutsu Kaisen. We have Sukuna or Mahito. We have characters who are just evil because they're evil, because they are monsters. And then we have Akaza, who is more complex. He has a tragic backstory, very sad. And Akaza is like the only demon who actually sees the human behind the Demon Slayer facade. When we think of demons and demon slayers, for example, Akaza sees Rengoku and not another demon slayer. He sees him and wants him to be a demon because he sees his potential. And he's very interested in him. And this makes Akaza more interesting because he has empathy on some kind of level. He has a personal moral. He says no to women because he loved his wife so much. And this is his rule he sticks to. And this is why he ends up hating one of his co-worker demons, Doma, who especially loves eating women. And this is just an easy personality trait you can put on a character that makes him stand out from the other characters. The other upper moons, I mean number 4 and 5, they are treated a little bit like the lower moons. I understand that the story doesn't want to stick too long to the weaker moons, so Muzan killing them off was a great moment and it was needed. It also showed that Muzan knows no mercy. It was good. But then we have these 2 upper moons and they were gone within one arc. This was a waste of potential because you always had the possibility to make these characters more interesting. And I specifically talk about Upper Moon 5 and 4 because Daki or Gyotaro were very interesting. They actually had the best flashback, not only because the story was very tragic and dark, it felt real because it covered some topics that many people in the human world are facing. Like you are not pretty enough, like you are not pretty at all, you are ugly and people hate you for that. They push you, they curse you, they hate you, they even try to kill you. And how poor people are treated, how they fight for money, for food to survive every day. Like this was a very real backstory of the connection of Gyotaro and Daki made it even more sad. And on top of all that, we also get a little introduction to another villain, like the whole moment we have with Doma. And this is what made this flashback perfect. Maybe I'm biased, but in Demon Slayer, the bad guys are the better written characters. The mangaka really tries to show how demons became demons and how their life was before they became demons. And maybe they explain it like this because it gives Tanjiro the moment to hold the hand on the way to hell to be the good soul he is, because he is so pure and so perfect. So we are still talking about the bad guys. Let's go back to Muzan. Earlier I said I don't mind if a character who is a monster acts like a villain for no reason. But the problem in Demon Slayer is we have this clear cut between good and bad. We have the humans who are the good guys, and we have the demons who are the bad guys. You know, good, bad. And there's no struggle between that. It would be different if Tanjiro was a demon, if he has to fight against what he became. But this is not the case. The only moral dilemma we have here is that Nezuko is a demon. And Tanjiro, who usually kills demons, doesn't want to kill his sister. But my problem is, Nezuko is not even acting like a demon. If she would be acting like a demon, like trying to kill Tanjiro all the time, or trying to kill other people, it would be completely different because Tanjiro would actually struggle. I'm sure he would. He would lie awake at night and think about killing his sister every now and then because she is a monster. But the Nezuko we know is not a monster. She is still his cute little sister. Even though she has her moments as a demon, she is still his sister, and we always see it that way, like Tanjiro also sees her that way. And he is not even questioning if what he does is right or wrong, because she is not acting like a demon. So why is Demon Slayer so popular? Demon Slayer is the starting point for many new anime fans. I had friends who don't like anime at all, and they watch Demon Slayer and say it's cool. And the story is very simple, so you can follow it easily. Many animes tend to make you overthink it. And I have this many times when I watch an anime or I read a good book, then I think about it in my normal life. And I overthink the story, the characters. I think about it and wonder what might happen next, and the character bonding and the relationship to each other, and how all of this could wrap up when the story progresses. But in Demon Slayer, honestly, everything is already set. You know what's coming. And spoiler alert, even though some more characters are dying beside Rengoku, it's still not a surprise because we all know some characters have to die. But the main story is very clear. We know it goes against Muzan at the end, and Nezuko will come back as a human, and everyone is happy, and the main cast will most likely survive. But this simpleness is a very, very good start. I mean, if someone would ask me, hey, I just want to start watching anime, do you have a recommendation? I would say Demon Slayer. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it would be a choice. And this is why many people who are not familiar with anime are very easily drawn to Demon Slayer, because Demon Slayer draws you easily into its world, because the world is not very complex. And I also heard that Demon Slayer is very, very popular in Japan because it's very traditional. Not only the setting, but we also have the typical happy, loving family living all together over many generations. And you have the oldest son who is very ambitious, tries to support his family as much as possible. This is popular in Japan. And I wouldn't dare to judge their taste because who am I to judge? Just favor whatever you like. And the third reason why Demon Slayer is so popular is quite obvious. And the reason is Ufotable. Ufotable made an amazing job with animating the story. Demon Slayer is carried by its music, its animation, and yes, also the voice actors. I'm a big fan of voice actors, so I want to mention them. If someone says Demon Slayer is an amazing anime because it's so pretty, I mean, look at that, it's so well done. It's beautiful. I love to watch Demon Slayer in a cinema because it's beautiful. You have to watch Demon Slayer in a cinema, it's an experience. When people say this anime is perfect for me because it's entertaining, because of the fights and music and animation is so well done, then I totally get it. Absolutely, I understand why people say it's the best. And this is the reason why, despite of all the flaws it has, in my opinion, I think it's very popular because of its prettiness. And it's fine because Demon Slayer is like a plant you have in your living room and it doesn't need much attention. Like you water it once a week, and the moment you do it, it doesn't annoy you because in the end, it's still a pretty plant. Because you don't have characters like Joffrey Baratheon who make you want to eat his face because you hate his little smug smile so much. You have evil characters, but they are not so evil that they haunt you, you know? If you are still here, thank you for listening. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. Give me some feedback, and I will see you in the next video.